Welcome into the PHNX Coyotes post-game show brought to you by the one and only DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah Merrill here with Steve Peters, and the tank is back.
The tank is
it's
officially
back on, and they have lost their third straight 4-2 game, their fourth straight overall game. It's not been looking good for the Yotes.
No, they had that road trip out east where they were averaging over 5 goals a game for the entire road trip. Win 4 out of 5. Since returning from that road trip, they can't get more than 2 goals a game.
Bad.
They just haven't found their offense.
No, they haven't at all. Let's start off right off the bat with by the numbers because we can just get this one out of the way. 18 shots on goal is just not enough to win a game. It's just not. And I know that the Coyotes have pulled off weird wins by scoring very few goals, but 18 is not great. And then Calgary, 33 shots on goal. That's actually not a ton against the Coyotes if you think about it, but a big number that stands out for me is the 2 of 4 on the power play. You can't allow a team to be 50% on a power play.
Well, you look at their power play too. The power play of the Calgary Flames.
It's 8th in the NHL.
Yeah, they got 4 guys with 30 goals on.
Meanwhile, the Coyotes' penalty kill is 30th. So you had the 8th power play
Not
going
ideal.
up against the 30th penalty kill. It's just not a recipe for success.
But we got to go to the shots. And we talk about the shots a lot. And I mean, if the Coyotes had to win games where they outshot their opponent, we'd never win any. I get it. But 18 shots, it's the second lowest since the end of January. Like, come on. Like, if you're trying to dig yourself out of a hole offensively, you've got to get more pucks to the net. Now, I understand they're hurt and they're missing a lot of defensemen. So that does play a part of it, for sure, because you can't possess the puck. You can't get the puck up off the ice. But for some reason, ever since returning from that road trip, this team just looks slow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a great first road period. Fantastic.
Yeah. They outshot Calgary
Outshot
in that
them,
period.
and they were really good between the blue lines. And when we say that, I know, first I'm going to say that you hear that cliche, or they're good in the neutral zone. Well, what does that mean? It means they didn't let Calgary get speed between the blue lines. You didn't see the odd man 2-on-1 or 3-on-2 rushes against. So they were able to slow Calgary down between those blue lines. The other thing they did between the blue lines is they were able to create turnovers. And why do you do that? You have good sticks and lanes. You have body in right positions. You turn pucks and you go the other way. So they were good between the blue lines in the first period. The second period, again, 2 things. Was the penalties and it was turnovers. And turnovers in their own zone. And that's what caused the problems for this team. And they just still have no ability to create any offense right now. And I felt sorry for Veggie. I mean, Veggie just got hung out to dry again. I mean, I hate to say it, but again.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate game, and it didn't help in the second period when Calgary scores 33 goals into the period. Then 3 minutes later, they scored 3 goals in the span of 8 minutes, I think. And then the Coyotes hit the pipe, and, they got a shot with 10 seconds left in the second, but there's just no energy, and kind of got another goal late in the third, but just not enough to make it a game. It was only really a game in the first, but even in the first, there were no high scoring chances for either team. Really.
You're right, and you look at the Calgary Flames. First of all, this is if not the best team in the West, it's second best with Colorado. They're leading their division. This is a really, really good hockey team, and they're a great hockey team at home. They give up the fewest goals. They score the most. Second most in the West. They take more shots than anybody. it's a good hockey team. So let's temper it with that first. So the Coyotes are behind the 8 ball before they even get started. So you can't expect much more. And plus, then you go to the depleted back end. You just traded Wedgwood, who's been playing really well. Like, look what he did to the Dallas Stars last night. He played 44 saves, gets the Stars through a shootout, stops all 3 in the shootout. He was phenomenal. And now people are finally seeing what we've seen all year from Scott Wedgwood is, you know what, he's pretty good. So I think for this team to get out of this hole, they're just going to have to find a way to generate offense. And the only way to do that is to move your feet and get the puck up the ice. And they just weren't able to do that again tonight.
And I mean, I've seen a lot of comments, the tank is back, and that's exactly what we said at the start of the show.
Yeah.
And it's great. But it's just, you want to watch competitive, close games. And
Don't you think
it just hasn't been that for the last few.
Don't you think Calgary turned it on later too? I don't know if it's like Calgary kind of woke up in the second, like, oh shit, we're in a game. Like, we better get going here.
Yeah, they did.
Because when they turned it on,
but their best players were their best players tonight.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's pull up Petey's keys because they had a bit of a theme today.
Yeah.
But you just mentioned a few of these, so you might be repeating yourself.
I know, but we talked about, first of all, the last time, and I guess they started on this theme because of what Wedgwood did last night with Dallas. That's where you got on this team. So you needed to have that kind of performance to get a team that generates this much offense. You need to have good goaltending. Last time Veggie played Calgary, he set a franchise record for saves in a period. So you think Calgary's going to get a lot of shots. Secondly, they do lead the Western Conference in shots per game. So you know you're going to get a lot of action. And as we mentioned, now they have 4 players with 30 goals because all of those guys scored. They have 4 players with 30 goals. So clearly, the only way you're going to beat this team is if your goalie stands on his head. And I'm not saying Veggie was bad tonight. I'm not saying they were his fault. I'm saying most of them didn't have a chance because of the tic-tac-toe plays that they made. But if you're going to beat the Calgary Flames, you need to have above average goaltending in that game. Like, the goalie's got to win the game for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we talked about a few of the flaws he's had. I feel like he's been playing a little bit nervous, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder if it's since his contract got signed. You mean?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's 0-2 since he signed the contract. He's given up 8 goals in 2 games.
And not all the goals are his fault. But
not at all.
He's not having those outstanding games like the games that he had against Winnipeg, you know, where he made
245
46 saves in a shutout. Like, those aren't the types of games he's having, and we know that he's capable of having those games, but he just hasn't.
He hasn't yet.
No.
Yeah, and on this road trip, he'll get another chance. We're probably going to see Joseph Kozinesh get his first start for the Coyotes. And I would assume, again, I'm not going to pick. One of them is going to play one game. One of them is going to play the other.
We've seen how that's gone.
I'm not going to do it.
But
no point. Veggie's going to get one more chance on this, and he got 2 more teams. You got
and
Winnipeg,
he's played well against Winnipeg this season. So.
And if I was picking the goalies, and I clearly am not, I would have Veggie starting in Winnipeg for a couple reasons. He's had 245 save outings against them. He shut them out last time in Winnipeg. You get a day between games, so you're traveling. If he plays the Edmonton game, you're talking a back-to-back where you're going to get in late. You're not going to get a lot of sleep. You're going to come out a little bit tired. I would give Veggie the best opportunity to win. If I'm picking the goalies, I'm playing Veggie in Winnipeg on Sunday. I think just makes more sense.
It sucks because we just had Coach Tierney on last week, and he explained
Wedgwood
versus Vejmelka, and I was like, okay, I finally feel like I got it. Wedgwood traded.
He gone.
Classic. Well, there were some positives in tonight's game.
Yeah,
we saw not 1 but 2 first NHL goals tonight
in the same game.
Which that doesn't happen that often. So we had first up, and as a result, everyone, we have not 1 but 2 DraftKings
King of legit ones, right?
Yeah, legit. And because Carcone scored, and we were like, okay, easy, that's the king. And then Kolyachonok scored, and you said you can't make Carcone the king for his first NHL goal
and not
when Kolyachonok got his first. So we'll start with Carcone, our first king of the game, because he scored his first career goal, and it was an amazing goal, right over Markstrom's shoulder.
Yeah, it's a really good play.
Just 10 seconds left in the period, so he didn't let off at all. An amazing shot, and we had him on our show literally a month ago in Tucson, down the I-10. He came on our show, and he said, we asked him, what can Coyotes fans expect from your game? And he said, I have a good shot. I'm feisty. And I feel like we saw that tonight.
And we did. And yeah, I tell you what, if you haven't seen that, we always say that, go back, listen to old shows. But we went down the I-10 and talked to him. He's a fun guy. Like, he's a really good interview. He's got a great attitude. He works really hard. He was having a good season for them down in Tucson, and I'm really happy for him here. He got to play with Michelli tonight, and I thought they had really good chemistry down in Tucson, and I think that showed.
And he also said that was a part of the reason for his success in Tucson.
Exactly. He said Michelli's his success because Michelli has just a nose for the net. So I hope they can keep those. If they're going to continue to play here and with the big club, I hope they do keep them together because I think they get to go through this experience together. They already have the chemistry, and maybe that's where they get their offense from. Yeah. Like, they got to find it somewhere. And I know they put Galchenyuk between Keller and Schmaltz for a few games now, and I don't know.
Yeah, and ever since then, I mean, I know Schmaltz had an assist tonight, but we haven't been seeing that same magic from Keller and Schmaltz that we had been. I saw a comment earlier about Boyd moving down a line. I don't know what the decision, the
and I don't know
for that decision would
I don't
be.
know with all the success Boyd has had between those two earlier in the year, and I know then their streaks ended, and I think he probably tried to switch it up by putting Galchenyuk in the middle there, but now there's been 2 games in a row where I don't know if it's worked. I wouldn't be surprised on this trip if you see Boyd back between the middle of Schmaltz and Keller.
I would think. It was just the recipe's been working, so.
But what do we know?
Yeah. Right? And then, of course, Kolyachonok, his first NHL goal, so he's our second DraftKings king of the game. His first career goal, assisted from Schmaltz, also top shelf, and he's the 5th player to score the first NHL goal for the Coyotes this season.
And look at that young defense they have right now.
Yeah.
And that's with JJ Moser out of the lineup. Like, imagine when he gets back in this lineup. They have so many young guys with Mayo and Dyson Mayo,
Mayo and
Cam Dineen, and when Chychrun gets back and Kolyachonok, like, they've got 6
Connor
solid.
Timmins is even
Connor
young.
Timmins, 6 guys under 25.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something to look forward into next year. Now, having said that, do you look at players like Gostisbehere and Stralman that are helping pull these guys through? Like, they're pulling the rope. Like, Stralman's a mentor to these young kids. He's been paired with a different young guy throughout the season. And I think he's showing guys how to do it the NHL way. And Gostisbehere right now he's been the offensive leader for this defensive core the whole year.
Yeah. But
you can really see the rebuild coming with these really, really young, talented, skilled defensemen. So there's definitely hope. And now you see the center iceman that they picked up last week at the trade deadline, also really young. There's hope.
Yep, it's
all we can hope for.
It's exciting.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting to look toward the future with that.
Did you see somebody who had it? Oh, the Watts had it.
Oh, yeah. Kessel Ironman. Thank you for reminding me. So officially tonight, Phil Kessel tied Doug Jarvis for second all-time on the NHL Ironman list with 964 straight games played. So he will pass Doug Jarvis on Sunday in Winnipeg and take the sole possession of second overall on that list.
Honestly, I don't know what to say because first of all, I thought Gary Younger's record would never be broken. With the speed the game is played at right now, injuries are more prevalent. Guys get old and they need a break. Like, it's hard. And now you talk about 2 years of COVID and you don't miss a game. And to have both guys now that are 1 and 2 and they both played for the Arizona Coyotes. Huh? Really? That's impressive. Wow.
Yeah, it's very impressive.
And don't look now. Keller's only like 500 or 600 behind. But he's right there. He's trying. I think Keller might be 4th or 5th in active players right now. Like,
when you said that the other day, I was so mind blown.
It is a true story. He hasn't missed a game since 2017, and I think he's in the 400s now. I think, but he's got a long way to go.
Very long way.
But a testament to Phil. But Phil really wanted to go at the trade deadline. We've talked about it over and over and over again. But he's got 7 goals. I don't know how you trade a guy with 7 goals, making that kind of money and that kind of cap hit. So I don't know. I hope he can find his offense down the stretch here because he's got to re-sign somewhere at the end of the season to keep that streak going. And so does Keith Yandel. They both have expiring contracts. So,
and Yandel's coming up on 1,000 that he could hit it this season if he played.
That's unreal. Yeah. If he finishes the season.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It's absolutely unreal. Well, another Coyote who is I guess, on the back end of his career. Jay Beagle was back in the lineup after a long absence. And honestly, he was out there hitting, blocking shots. I mean, it's going to take him some time to get his feet back under. He's not the player he once was, but I noticed him in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, he brought energy, and that's what they wanted him for in the first place, to be a scrappy little centerman that can win draws and help bring a little grit to this team. But he's been out of the lineup since December. You missed that kind of time.
Long time.
Yeah, I was surprised the energy that he played with today. I thought he looked really good, but he was out there with we talked about those young guys, Michelli and Carcone, and I think that helps energize you too, because you want to see those two kids do well. And they probably boosted him a little bit, but his feet were moving. He looked good. You wouldn't tell that he's been out of the lineup for that long.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, that's really all I have from the game itself.
That's it?
I mean, what else?
What else can we talk about?
I don't know. I mean, we have.
I saw somebody went to a baseball game. Isaiah went to the baseball game. We could probably talk about that.
Yeah, David's in the room. He's been watching baseball all night. Good call, David.
I know.
No, actually, he's been watching softball all night.
Softball and baseball.
Put some respect
baseball,
on the ASU softball and baseball. The stick and ball teams, as he referred to them earlier.
That's good.
I think this is what I expected to see from this team. I think the Calgary Flames tonight woke up in the second period. I know Calgary's a really good four-line team that can come at you really hard. I don't think they did that in the first period. Coyotes are going to need to play better on this trip, or it's going to be a long trip.
Yeah.
Edmonton needs the wins. Winnipeg still feels they can make the playoffs. Yeah. Vegas has been falling. Gets a big win yesterday. They think they can catch them. Vancouver's in it. I know they don't play Vancouver on this trip, but these Canadian teams are all scratching and clawing to try to find their way into these playoffs. Yeah. So I think they're going to have their hands full these next 48, 72 hours.
Yeah, Winnipeg coming up next. They're 6 in the Central, 30, 25, and 10 on the season. 6-4 in their last 10, so playing a little bit better. Have a winning record at home, so it's going to be a challenge for the Coyotes. But the Coyotes have tended to match up well against them this season. So we'll see. I just hope that if they're going to lose, as we kind of want them to, that it would be a close one.
But it's hard. This is the time of year when you should be, and we are. We were talking about it before the show tonight, how exciting these playoff matchups are going to be. Now, we talked about who plays who. Well, now Toronto is going to play Boston if they played today. We had Toronto playing Florida, but now it's Toronto-Boston. Yes, give me. I want to see that. That. The series right now, playoff hockey is fantastic.
There's nothing like it.
There isn't. The speed, the physicality, and the grudge matches that get going over those 7-game series is phenomenal. And to have the Coyotes not be a part of that is hard for fans. So guess what? Let's go the other way. Let's just lose. And I know that we've said it since day one. It sucks. But if we want to be the team 4 or 5 years from now, that we're a perennial playoff team that can compete for a Stanley Cup every year, you need to go through this year of pain to get the players to help us get to that point down the future. Otherwise, we will be mired in mediocrity, which we have done for years. So let's just embrace the tank for 20 games.
I think we can do it.
Keep your eyes on other teams. And now we have other people. I'm rooting for Wedgie. Yeah, I'm telling you, I hope the Dallas Stars make the playoffs.
Yep. And then we'll hopefully get to see maybe these college players step in. There's other things to look out for on this Coyotes team that are still exciting and still allow you to have rooting interest. Seeing 2 players get their first NHL goals tonight, that's amazing to watch.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of storylines to follow. Yeah. And I think we want to see the health of Chychrun, and we want to see Chychrun come back to the lineup, see if he can catch fire again.
You want to see Kessel continue
JJ
the Ironman
Kessel and the Ironman streak.
And to hit, what did we just say? He was close to, 400 goals?
Yeah, he's 2 goals away.
So, there's so many things on the horizon.
To follow. Yeah. And we want to talk about those individual. We want to see Keller and Schmaltz get hot again. Absolutely. Let's see if can Keller get 30 goals. Maybe. Let's see it.
Yeah.
So, we want to see those individual things. But as a team, as this stretches out for the next month, we have 1 month to go. We'll really be following what's going on in the bottom of the standings, as well as what players to look for. We've already talked about Shane Wright and Logan Cooley. We talked about Matthew Savoy a little bit. Those are 3 of the top centermen that are available. So 3 names that people should be familiar with. What we're going to do in April is we're going to spend some of that time on these shows when, like we just did tonight, we ran out of shit to talk about. We're going to start talking about players that are going to be available in the upcoming draft. And we're going to spend more time on each show bringing up a new name so that by the time the ping pong ball drops and we see the order, people will be more familiar with those names. So it's just something else to look forward to over this last month when you have a hard time looking for wins.
I just have to read this comment from Bees. The thing I learned about the Suns' 10-year tank, you have to be excited about losing, otherwise you hurt your mental health.
We haven't had
excited about losing.
I don't know.
You gotta follow up there, Bees.
We haven't had a therapy session for a while.
I know we haven't.
Did you know, Craig, that's 3 losses, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2?
I didn't actually. I didn't think about that.
We just looked at that.
Yep.
4 losses.
The tank is back, Craig.
Tank
is definitely back. And that's
it's
a good
alive
thing.
and well.
That's
I know.
a good thing.
Exactly.
I don't know how you feel good about it.
You don't feel good in your heart.
You know it's needed.
But you feel good in your head.
You know, it's like, it's something you got to do. It's like cleaning toilets.
Did you see Charles?
Maybe.
That Craig just slides in.
Yeah.
Do you know how
you're not buying that one at all?
Can we tell him how Craig gets here?
Okay. How I get here?
Yeah, you get a limo to the studio.
With
he just got here. Like
or...
he says he's doing post-game interview. Literally just pulls up with his Pellegrino-filled limo to the front right halfway through the show. Diva.
What's the temperature? That Pellegrino?
If Craig really had that much control, then the studio wouldn't be as frigid as it was.
God, it's cold in here today.
I like it cold. I like to stay alert. So no, not at
No,
all.
he was texting you to bring blankets.
It's
yeah,
cold
I thought we were
here.
gonna have blankets in the studio.
Wow, it's cold in here.
Oh man.
I didn't know if we paid the bill, but I guess it's 88 outside.
Well,
not in here.
Craig just came from the post-game interviews. Do we have the video, Sean?
I just sent it to Sean, so I mean.
Do we have it, Sean?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so this is Carcone.
We got Jay Beagle first to talk about his return after being out of the lineup for 3 months. He said it was a sports hernia surgery, so he's had this before and basically went as expected. But that's a tough injury to deal with. I think his was probably a little more severe than Johan Larsson's was, so he had to be out of the lineup for a while, but he's back. And then we got Michael Carcone to talk about his first goal. Not as loquacious as he was down in Tucson when we had him. Yeah.
Yeah, we were just pumping his tires about how good he was.
See?
Fun interview, personality.
False advertising.
Sorry.
It's all right. We can play them both anyway.
We'll play the video.
Morgan, go ahead, Craig.
Hey, Jay, I just wanted to get a sense from you what it's like to actually be back in a game after going through what you went through.
Yeah, no, it was good. I felt slow out there in the first. Found myself out of position and trying to do a little too much at the beginning, and kind of settled in and then kind of found my rhythm with 2 new line mates too. I thought our line played pretty good, and first game together, first time playing with those guys, and I thought our line played pretty good. So it's a matter of finding your legs. You can do all the bag skating, all the rehab to come back, but until you get in the game, there's it's game shaped and you have to get in those games. So looking forward to the next one now.
Aside from that, what are the biggest adjustments when you've been out that long?
Yeah, it's just your head, like the speed of the game, the reads, all that stuff. Like I said before, you can take face-offs, you can skate. We have a good skills coach and skating coach that I worked with for the last month and a half, 2 months. So I felt like I had improved in some areas, but it's just that reading the game situation that makes it tough. And but as the game went on, I kind of felt like I was getting into more of my rhythm and settled down a little bit. So felt good in the second and third.
Did rehab progress basically how you thought it would in terms of timeline and all that?
Yeah, it was almost dead on. It was dead on what the surgeons told me, dead on what our physio, our PT guy, that works with us back home, did such a great job for us. We got such a great staff. So I got to give them all the credit. They work hard, and they're a great group of people. So it was fun to work with. It kept it fun while coming back. It's never easy, coming back from an injury, and we were ahead of schedule. 2 months in, and we still stuck to the plan and ended up feeling 100% out there today, which was great because I haven't felt that good probably in a couple of years, to be honest with you.
Last thing from me, it's pretty good timing too. Obviously, a couple centers went out the door at the trade deadline, so this team could certainly use a boost at that position.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you never know, right? It's one of those things where guys go down, there's injuries, trades. So, just try to come in and play my game and fill that role that I've done my whole career and try and be strong in the face-off circle and good in my D zone and play my game.
Thanks, Jay.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we go to Jose Romero. Go ahead, Jose.
Hey, Jay, welcome back, man.
Thank you.
Just from a veteran's perspective, from a leadership standpoint, or any other kind of standpoint, I guess, was it just important for you to fight your way back and get back before the season ended here?
Yeah. It was a tough. We honestly didn't know what to do so it was a sports hernia that I had, and I had to get it fixed. And I'd had it for a couple of years where it was mild, and it got worse this year progressively to the point where I couldn't skate and do my job to the best of my ability. So it was a tough injury to deal with and tough decision on what to do with my age as well. I'm going to be honest with you. For me and my family, that's why I mentioned the Coyote staff has been amazing, and they were awesome walking it through me and what the options were. So yeah, it was awesome to be able to get back, especially play in front of my friends and family here in Calgary. That's always fun, and it just happened to work out that way that I was ready and the timing, and so it's good to get back for sure.
Thank you.
From a game perspective, what did Calgary do to make it?
So you were good to go.
All right, everybody. Go ahead, Craig.
Hey, Michael, I'm sure you would have liked to score this one in a winning effort, but how did it feel to get that one?
It was a special moment. You dream about that as a kid, and when it finally happened, it's pretty surreal. So it's super exciting.
What has this whole climb been like for you through the A, trying to get to this point and get an opportunity?
It's been an adventure. It keeps you on your toes and keeps you wanting it. So I've enjoyed the experience and still enjoying the experience, and I'm going to continue to enjoy the experience.
Nice to get reunited with Matthias, I would guess.
Oh yeah. We obviously have some chemistry, and I know the way he likes to play and where he wants to put the puck, so it's pretty easy to play with him.
All right, Michael, thanks. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, we go to Jose Romero. Go ahead, Jose.
Hey, Michael, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
What's it like to that last question just kind of touched on a player, but just being up here with maybe half the guys you played with down in Tucson, it seems like the celebration could be pretty nice since everybody played with you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty special. We obviously came up together and we were battling in Tucson together. So, when we all have success, it's a nice feeling, and everyone's smiling, so it's great.
Honestly, Craig, I commend your quick technology skills getting us that video.
Yeah, I forgot to cut off the question at the end of Jay Beagle there.
It's okay.
I was typing. I was actually tweeting because he told us his injury, so I was getting that out. So.
It's a good little behind the
Craig
scenes
does it
look
all.
at what Craig's doing when his chair is sitting here empty and Petey and I are breaking down the game. That's what Craig's.
He was
they're
not
doing. So
coming in a limo.
Cool.
We said he really was here early. He was one of the first people here.
Yeah, he was here.
Yeah.
Way before.
Way
you
before
today.
me.
Got a problem with the food in the limo too.
You're so bougie.
The chili salad just didn't do it for you today, huh?
Craig Morgan.
Seriously.
Oh man. Well, hopefully it's the first of many for Carcone.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with. I mean, it's an expanded roster now, so you can do whatever you want. And listen, Tucson's not going to the playoffs, so
yeah.
But I mean, how much do you
Tucson
decimate?
is winning tonight.
How much do you decimate that roster? Right?
4-3, winning 4-3 goals from Yannick and Broadhurst and McCartney and Holtz.
And Yannick and McCartney, two of the names you brought up there, I expect to see them here in the next 20 games too, getting a taste of this. And I hope they all get a little bit of the revolving door and they all get a little bit of a look and so they can start to prepare for the off season and their summer and get ready for next year's training camp. But to do that, I think they should get a little look with the big club here before it's over.
Yeah, I want to see Boko up here too.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, hopefully that's to come. And also, while that video was playing, Sean was mentioning to us that he is about to win some money. Sean, what is happening?
If Miami can hold on, I have them -3 parlayed with the UNC money line, and UNC just beat UCLA.
UNC came back. Wow.
UNC came back, so they beat UCLA.
The
UNC,
Pac-12
Pac-12's
is
out.
dead.
Miami is up 9 with just under 4 minutes left. So if they can hold on and win by at least or more than 3 points, then I will win about $80 on a parlay.
Okay, well, that's looking good for you. And Sean, do you have a DraftKings pick of the week for us while we're on the subject?
I do. So this pick of the week is the result of UNC winning. At this point, I think it's clear that the NCAA has the fix in and is going to have Duke meet UNC in the Final Four for Coach K's farewell. Duke will probably win because, again, the NCAA has the fix in. So my pick of the week is Duke -4 against Arkansas. Arkansas just coming off a big win over Gonzaga. I just think, like I said, the NCAA has the fix in. So I think nothing they can do is going to there's nothing Arkansas can do to win that game.
Interesting.
Coach K all the way.
I hate Coach K.
Wish you would have told me this when we did our brackets.
Well,
that would have helped, but
I didn't.
Well,
I
you're
didn't
doing
realize.
well in the Discord
Yeah,
bracket.
I'm kidding. I got 1 right out of 3.
His
I have one
bracket's
Final Four
terrible.
team,
His,
and that's
his
good.
bets have been good, but his bracket's
My
terrible.
bets have been great, but
My bracket stinks.
a team that I just picked to lose in the first round is now in the Elite Eight. Shout out St. Peter's.
Yeah,
But
a 15 seed.
My-
Actually, it's
like
more
Leah
fun
said-
as a basketball show tonight than it was a hockey show.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Just saying.
yeah, like Leah said, my bets have been doing pretty well. So I suggest you follow.
I suggest you follow too. He's really has been winning some money, much to my dismay last night when he was winning off of U of A's loss, which I don't want to talk about, so we won't. But if you want to tell Sean's bets or bet anything of your own on college basketball, you can do so on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. So be sure to sign up using the promo code PHNX, bet $5 on any team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. You can do same game parlays or any sort of parlays like Sean mentioned also. And you don't just have to bet on basketball. There's so much you can bet on there. We were following the NCAA men's hockey tournament
That's
earlier.
right, where there have been basically no upsets.
Yeah, so you can bet on that as well. So there's seriously so much you can bet on. So be sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code PHNX and bet $5 on any college hoops team to win and get $200 in free bets if they do. That's 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
I just gotta say, I am pretty sure I'm like 3 for my last 3 picks of the week. So
All right,
I am
you heard the man.
red hot.
Follow Tail Sean on his picks of the week. All right, well, Craig,
Petey's over there drinking a Perrier, by the way.
I
know,
know
just
it's
gonna
much
bring that
to
up.
your offense.
Yeah.
I know.
Like
I do
before-
it just to
It's like the
bother you.
Yugo of sparkling water.
Literally do it to bother you, and it works.
Before we get to our last thing, Pete and I have kind of talked about everything in the game. Any thoughts from you on the game? Anything else?
In this
from-
game,
Yeah,
hey, taking care of business. That's the way I look at it.
right? And 2 first NHL goals. It's fun.
Yeah, that's a nice moment for those
That is.
guys. Yeah, it's always cool.
But again, we talk about the NHL schedule makers doing no favors to the Coyotes. They are getting on a plane right now and flying to the middle of Canada.
Let's pull up the schedule
From
so
the
you can really
Western
see the
Canadian.
cruelty of
It just
the-
makes no sense to me. Like, so they're gonna fly. That's a 2.5, 3-hour flight to get to Winnipeg, and then they fly
Basically the
right
Midwest.
back,
Yeah,
right
it's-
back to where they were.
Yeah, Winnipeg's like right over Minnesota.
It's nuts.
So that makes no sense. They should, but
And as we were talking about, Kolyachonok is going to play one of those 2 games.
Yeah,
We'll see how that goes.
and he's the guy that if you go back and
more
rewind,
NHL debuts.
when we first started this adventure, we thought he
We
would
all
be the guy
thought.
making this team.
Yeah, because of his San Jose
Yeah,
experience.
and he did.
Played a
And
few
so
games there and did
be
all
interesting
right
to see
with
what he
San
can
Jose.
do. And is there any more on the Hari Sateri front?
I had mentioned this the other day. I think it was yesterday. I mentioned it. It's looking like about 10 days. He's still in the immigration process. He's not in Canada yet, so it's looking like he'll just join him in the U.S. back here. That's their estimate was 10 days. We'll see. You never know with immigration. So
even if and again, this is way off topic, but even if he would have cleared waivers to try to play for Toronto, he still would have
would have
these
had to wait.
same issues.
yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
And the timeline of McBain, you reported today that his injury might be more like week
Yeah,
to
Andre
week.
said that today. It's interesting because I talked to Jack McBain. They had an availability, and he was out of the walking boot. So I was surprised to hear that Andre said it's weeks, not days.
Hmm.
So maybe there's a significant amount of rehab, but it's really when you think about the time between the end of BC season and now, it hasn't been that long. So if he's already out of the walking boot, I have to admit I was a little confused, but we'll see. They fully intend for him to play. They're burning the first year of the ELC. That's a done deal. He's going to get in the game this season. It's just up in the air when that's going to be.
Charles Woodall Pike brings up a good question. He said, "You think this schedule's awful? Wait till next year with ASU." So, do you know when does the NCAA usually publish their college hockey schedule? Do you know how far in advance that up? Like NHL is usually July.
The ASU schedule is already set. It has not been released yet, but it's already set.
Oh, okay. So that's done.
And all their home games are Friday, Saturday home games.
Yeah.
So when they're home,
guess who's not?
Well, or they have to play in the middle of the week.
Or those matinee doubleheaders.
Yeah. Now that would be awesome.
I'm telling you.
I am down for that.
Yeah, I am
back-to-back games.
I am too. I think that's great. But
that's
what
like
happens?
What we used to do in Tucson with U of A and the road.
I love that idea.
I loved it. I used to work like 12-hour days.
And you know what? I think NHL matinees are fantastic.
Me too.
I think they're great for families to get to go see a team. I think they're great to have on TV in the middle of the day. Yeah, definitely bring me some matinee hockey Saturday, Sunday afternoon. That'd be great.
Now, Craig, if they did the double headers, do you think they would just allow the people in the stands for the Coyotes games to just stay for the ASU games?
No chance.
No, that's
unless
money.
you find a good hiding place.
Yeah, that's a
Unless
hard
they're paying
no.
for both tickets. So
Yeah, that's a hard no.
Sean, you can try it out and film it for PHNX. Oh man. Okay, well, let's finish up on our non-Arizona Coyotes related topic, but still related to the Coyotes organization, which is the Arizona Kachinas, the girls teams, and there are not one, not two, but three Kachinas teams off to the Nationals in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, you know what? This is kind of the legacy where we talked a lot about Matt Schott and his untimely passing this year, and he really was the backbone of this whole Kachina push, this whole girls hockey program in this state. And his mission and his goal was to get these programs to tier 1 status. They play at a tier 2 level right now. He wanted these teams to play at a tier 1 level. Shortly after he passed, they were voted in a board of Arizona, the Arizona Hockey State Board voted 3 of these Kachina teams to tier 1 status for the following season.
Yep.
All 3 of those programs competed regionally in Dallas over the last week, and all 3 of those teams not only won, but the under 14 and under 16 teams did not give up a goal in the entire tournament.
That's unbelievable.
So they are off to Pennsylvania. The 19 team had a little bit more of a difficult path. They lost a game to New Mexico, and they came back, and now they're headed to Nationals too. So, you know, Matt Schott's legacy lives on.
Absolutely.
yeah, Lindsay Fry's happy about this too, I'm sure.
Absolutely. And she's had a huge hand in what's gone on over there as well. And I'm glad you mentioned her too, because they have the small fry program with the younger girls getting involved in hockey early. This is a program that's kind of ebbed and flowed through the years. They never quite were able to catch on, and now they're not just doing well, they're thriving. I mean, to compete nationally at girls hockey out of the state of Arizona is phenomenal. And I couldn't be happier for the people involved. Brendan Shaw is a friend of ours, and he was sending us all this information, and he's so proud of the team that he brought. He's got the 16 team. I don't think they've lost all year. I think they're 19-0-1. So we're going to keep an eye on it. The tournament starts next week out in Pennsylvania. We'll kind of keep an eye on how those Kachina girls are doing as they progress through nationals.
Competitive Arizona hockey to cheer for.
It's fantastic. It's a really good story. So we'll try to get those scores for you as that week goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really great to hear, especially given Matt Schott's impact, and just to see their success they've had, and just to see women's hockey growing in the Southwest. We're talking about hockey in Arizona, but like women's hockey specifically, the growth that it's had, and the reason for that, it's just unbelievable to see. So love that, and like I said, exciting to cheer for Arizona hockey because the Coyotes in Tucson and ASU are not in a competitive place right now in terms of a championship, but the Kachinas are. So like Petey said, we'll keep everybody updated. I think that's it for us tonight. It's a quick one. But Craig just published his monthly mailbag, and
it was a long one.
Any It was long, but any question you may have ever thought you want to ask Craig right now was probably asked. So be sure to go and read that, because I was reading it today and there's a lot covered in there. There's a lot of questions right now, so a lot of them were answered. And if you want to read that, you can do so at gophnx.com. Be sure to sign up for an annual membership. You can get a shirt like this one, or the one Petey is wearing when you do.
Yeah. And some other merch that's coming.
Some other merch that's
for some
coming.
people. Not
For some
others.
people, there's a lot of when
Some
that
people
finally
don't get
breaks.
the
There's gonna be a
merch.
lot of discussion.
Oh
in the
yeah,
studio.
Craig is already writing his script
You
for
think
that
I'm
one.
mad about the food in my limo?
Yeah, wait
Or
till
the
you
Wait till
hear
you
this.
hear this.
Or
Wait
the
till you hear
pizza
this
not
one.
getting
That's right.
delivered that one day. It's on that level.
It's
Yeah.
on that day.
Yeah,
That's
it
very
is.
true.
But also, members get weekly deals on merchandise, which the members deal of the week is buy one, get one half off of Coyote shirts. So it's a good time to become a member. The Coyote shirts, I think, are some of the best shirts in the PHNX locker. So be sure to check that out as well. And
You can
keep your-
just say it. They are the best.
They are the best.
Yeah,
They are the
go ahead.
best.
Then we gotta get numbers again because we knew early that we were crushing.
I know
I
when
don't think
they
anybody wants to talk about it anymore, Petey.
Really, but I think
Yeah.
basketball they got some. It's not
basketball.
fair.
Basketball does have some good shirts.
They do,
and
but they
they're
get so many,
good.
though.
But they're good.
It's like every
The
week.
Suns are good.
What about poor Derek in the baseball show? They have one
they
shirt.
they just ended their lockout.
Okay, they have one
More
shirt.
to come.
Like, how are they supposed to sell a lot of shirts? They got one. Like, it's not fair. We need.
There may
We
even
should-
be
They should have
another-
like a baseball is back shirt, something like that.
Wow,
I mean, and
look at you
come on.
marketing over there. I like it. Marketing for PHNX. I like
What
it.
do I know?
Exactly.
Oh man. Well, we will be back Sunday
You got to think about it, didn't
And
you?
Monday.
and Monday. I've been off a day every day this week.
Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
It's 4 live shows next
Four
week. 4 live
live-
post-game shows.
Yep. Yep.
Busy week.
Yeah, it doesn't say it on there, but there is a game on the 1st also. Against Anaheim. That's a home game.
Yeah, there's the Sharks again, and we'll have another top 10 moment from Gila River.
Oh
Arena
yes,
for
we
that
will
game, so-
continue
Oh, yeah,
counting
that'll be
down.
number 9.
Yep.
Yep.
We will continue counting down the top moments at Gila River Arena. There's only 9 home games left.
And we also, on Monday, we have something else going on, too, in studio. Do we say that, or does nobody care?
I don't even know
Andre
what you're talking
Tourigny,
about.
upper opportunity.
Oh yeah, my bets. The bet's gonna be paid out on Monday,
Yes,
and Petey
Leah
and
gets
Craig are
dinner in
buying
the
me dinner.
studio on Monday.
Yeah, it's quite a dinner, too. Do we
Well,
want to talk
we'll
about
see.
this?
We'll talk
Whoa,
about it on
I've been
Monday.
going for
Pete's
drive-through. I've been talking
Petey's
drive-through.
down with Fazoli's.
I think she could get a kid's meal.
The Fazoli's
She can get the
returned.
toy. She can play with it during the show. I don't know. It's a win-win.
It's not going to be that.
No?
It's not going to be that.
I do appreciate Craig's taste. I'm just saying.
She's already seen the menu.
Exactly.
Leah, are you
Petey
a
and I are splitting the
cheeseburger
dinner.
or McNuggets kind of go?
I don't think I've eaten anything besides fries or ice cream from McDonald's in like 20 years. And that's not an exaggeration.
It's
Yeah,
the most striking part about that is that we're old enough to say that you haven't done something in 20 years.
I know. My birthday's in 2
buddy.
weeks, by the way. 2 weeks from
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, that's not that big a deal for me 20 years later.
Yeah. Anyway,
Chicken
Um,
nuggets, by the way, Sean.
I'm a huge 2 double cheeseburgers, medium fry, large high C kind of guy when I go to McDonald's.
You go to McDonald's.
I cannot lie. I'm
you
a
guys,
sucker for
Sean
McDonald's.
might
I
be
have
the
worst
most
diet.
unhealthy eater
I
I've
have
Really?
ever met
the
in my
worst
We've been
life.
talking about his fitness, too, I guess.
He is
It'll
blessed.
catch up with him.
He must be
It'll
blessed
catch
with
up
him.
with him.
Yeah.
I
catch up
have,
with him.
yeah, it's starting to catch up with me. I used to be a very frail little boy.
That metabolism's amazing. Just wait. It'll hit you. Just wait. Not
I
now.
don't even know.
Just
how
someday
to
you'll
move
wake up and
on
it'll hit you.
from that. Oh yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's
Take
end
us
the
home, Leah.
Let's end the show. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back Sunday for our post-game show. Be sure to subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube. Like, subscribe, follow, leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts as well. And most importantly, follow us on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. We are so close to 3,000. I feel like we've been saying it for weeks. Please give us a follow. We're
Very
so
disappointing.
close. If you haven't already, if you're listening to this and you have not followed us on Twitter, please do. So do that this weekend, and we will see everyone Sunday. Have a great weekend, everyone.